Most creators are stuck selling a $97 mini course or digital product and wondering why they're still burnt out or broke. Meanwhile, a small group of online educators are quietly scaling to $1, $5, or $10 million a year without grinding one-on-one with clients or creating a new course every month. In this video, I'm going to break down the business model that the top 1% of creators are using so you can see how you can apply it to your own business and stop guessing. So as you can tell by the title, this is why most course creators stay broke and how a small group are able to scale to over 7 figures per year. So hopefully you'll learn 3 things in this video: the funnels they use, how they deliver at scale, and how to apply this to your niche and business. So firstly, the overall machine that actually runs these businesses, you can think of it as a bit of a flywheel. Starting off with traffic, this is pretty self-explanatory. You need to get attention onto whatever it is that you're selling. The way that you actually capture this attention and turn it into whatever the objective is, like leads, sales calls, or purchases, you need some kind of sales funnel, right? Whether this is going to your DMs and having a conversation via your DMs, or whether this is going through a VSL, a community, buying a digital product and sending them, or downloading some type of freebie or lead magnet. These are all just different sales funnels. Sales funnel is more than just like a landing page. It's the sequence of steps that a prospect actually goes through before becoming a customer. They just look very different, right? So that's the second thing, is from traffic going down some type of sales funnel. Most of the time, if you are selling a high ticket coaching offer, this will usually end up with some type of sales call with maybe you, the founder, the coach, or one of your sales closers, who will then, if the prospect is a good fit, will sell them and enroll them into the program, where they then actually experience the main value of the program, like the coaching calls that you have, the info and course material that you have. And this is where they actually start that transformation to getting the end result or outcome, whatever it is that they desire. Then in an ideal world, they've obviously gone through your program because it should be good and it should be focused on helping them get to their desired end result. They would leave a testimonial because they've had a positive transformation and they've gotten the outcome which they were looking for, which then in turn actually drives more traffic through things like referrals, testimonial videos, case studies, etc. And that's why you can think of it as a bit of a flywheel, because the ones who really focus on building a good info product and a good program are the ones who are able to get cheaper and more qualified traffic through leveraging testimonials and case studies. So this is why I think of it as a bit of a flywheel instead of just a one single funnel. So the next thing is, again, very basic, but you have to have an idea of who your niche is and who your ideal audience actually is. So this could be anyone, but you just have to get super clear on who it is. Do they have a painful problem that I can actually help them solve? For example, they could be busy mothers who want to lose weight, right? And their desired outcome is to lose 10 kilos in 12 weeks without sacrificing their family time and being able to spend time with their kids. It could be anything. As long as you know the transformation of your ideal prospect, you can then actually make sure you build out the right program to help them achieve that desired outcome. Most of the time, you will have a core product or offer that you use to actually provide this transformation to them. A lot of times people will have some type of lower tier, whether it's a lead magnet or a low ticket product, which could be something like a webinar, a live workshop, a challenge, a mini course, or even a recurring membership community, which is the entry point for a lot of people. Then they'll ascend them onto their core product or service. This could be priced anywhere from 1 to 10K, and this could be a group coaching, a curriculum with community, or even some high-level done-for-you services. Then typically, the best coaching programs will have a mastermind event or some type of advanced coaching services like one-to-one access, live retreats, masterminds, etc. So in terms of traffic, there's going to be 3 main traffic sources. There's going to be paid ads, which is great for reaching new audiences and retargeting your existing audiences as well. There's going to be organic content. So this is really where a lot of the trust is built. Now, what a lot of coaches are doing in this space at the moment is using YouTube long form videos to build trust or authority. And this is obviously free. It does take time to create the content, but once it's up there, it's live and it's consistently bringing traffic to whatever it is that you're selling. Paid ads can be temporary, but a really, really good way once you've got a good organic foundation to accelerate what you already have. And then partnerships and collaboration. So this could be where they do things like podcasts or events with other experts within the space. where they can actually tap into other audiences to build that authority, show that they have a network, and ultimately bring more people into their ecosystem and get more attention onto whatever it is that they're doing. But mostly it's going to be paid and organic that you'll be doing, especially if you're just starting out. So there are different conversion mechanisms. I did mention a little bit about sales funnels earlier, but most of the time, especially if you are just getting started and launching for the first time, you'll start with the straightest line path possible. And most of the time, this will be ads to some type of opt-in or VSL or webinar where they can then apply to work with you. Then you have the sales call, then they get enrolled into the program. Another one which is really popular these days and is good if you don't want to spend too much time on sales calls, but you do have to have a good appointment setting process dialed in, which is where someone sees your ad, they go to your profile, they consume the content on your profile, they start to warm up to you, they see you as the trusted expert. Then in your content, or maybe in the link in your bio, you will have specific call to actions where you tell them to either comment or DM you. Then you have a chat in your DMs to see if they're actually a good fit for what you do. Then either you line up a sales call, or if you have a lot of social proof and they're really ready, then you can actually try sell them in the DMs without having a sales call. Then they enroll into your program. Another popular mechanism, but which is much more advanced and which is really good if you have a lot of social proof, is doing low ticket ascension funnels. So where you send traffic from an ad directly to a sales page, and on that sales page, people buy that core low ticket product. Then there's upsells and one-time offers to maximize that order value. Then maybe you will get them to book in a sales call. This could be disguised as like an implementation or onboarding call, when in reality, it's just a call to try and upsell them onto your high ticket offer. And then they enroll into your program. Now, the big benefit of these low ticket ascension funnels is that you sell these digital products on the front end, you increase the order value, so you actually then profit. The whole goal is to liquidate your ad costs, right? So you sell a product which offsets your ad costs, and therefore you get qualified leads, or basically buyers, because they wouldn't be buying this product if they didn't actually see it as valuable to them. So the goal is they buy these products, then you upsell them to actually then make profit off of that initial purchase. And then you try booking a sales call with them. And if you can't book in a sales call, you've still made money and you've gotten qualified leads, which then enter your email database and you can always remarket to later on. So in terms of the sales process, a lot of the time, if the product is under 2K, you might not actually need a sales call to actually sell that. So it could just be an automated checkout with follow-up emails, SMSs, etc., to maybe send them on to higher ticket stuff if you have that. But if your offer is more than 2K, most of the time you'll have some type of sales call with trained closers if they're not yourself. So this is like overly simplified, but I would say these are three of the main mechanisms that coaches and creators are using right now to grow their business. To go more into just different models and pricing, because you're probably wondering how much you should actually charge for your offer. Well, it really depends on a few factors. This could be your niche or even your delivery mechanism, and I'll walk you through some examples of what other people are doing at the moment. But typically, if you are doing one-to-one coaching, you can charge the highest amount for this because it is taking the most amount of your time. And it also means that because they have direct access to you, you are more influential in helping them get their desired result. So you can hold them more accountable to getting that result, which means that you get more case studies, you get more testimonials, and you get much more client success, which then makes it way easier to get more clients. And typically, this is how I would recommend starting. If you have some type of skill or expertise and you aren't yet monetizing, this is the best way to do it because it's one-to-one, they pay you, they get direct access to you. So the next step down is one-to-many coaching. So this is where instead of you hopping on calls and having direct access to your clients, you might still have direct access to them, but instead of doing one-on-one calls with them, you'll have group calls with them. So this could be a weekly group call where you answer their questions all at once, and this obviously takes you less time. You can serve more people this way, but you might not be able to get away with this charging as much. So the next step down is where you actually build a team to help you deliver on the coaching. So this could be hiring a team of experts, in with specific domain knowledge. You know, let's say you're a fitness coach. You might be really good at the actual like programming and training side of things, but you might still need to hire nutrition experts to help you with the meal planning side of things and answer any nutrition related stuff. So this is where if you did have a one-to-one team, your team actually takes care of the one-to-one coaching, and instead of you doing everything. Similarly to this, you have your team actually having the group calls with your students. So instead of you having to do everything, you have a team, and that team will take your group coaching calls with your students. Now, this is obviously much more hands-off for you. However, a lot of the time, if people are seeing you as a face of the brand and they resonate with your content, they resonate with what you're putting out online, but then they join your program and don't get any access to you, then sometimes they can feel a little bit betrayed. I've been in one of these coaching programs before, and it was a bit of a shame because I was really hoping to be able to get access to the actual face of the brand. So this is just something that you do need to manage expectations if you did want to go down this route. So going down in price, you will have more info coaching. So this is where you might have a blend of one-to-one and one-to-many, but it's supplemented with online course content as well, which people can use, which your students can consume in their own time, and still get access to you, but in a more leveraged way for yourself. And the bottom two are info community. So this is where you have a community baked into what it is that you're doing, with a course as well. And there's no access to you. There's just access to the community, where you can still answer questions in there, but most of the time they'll be doing everything themselves, and they just get access to other people who are also within that program. Now, the bottom of this hierarchy is just a course, basically. So this is what most people might use as a foot in the door type of digital product or info product to get people into your world, to get a taste of what you can do before then ascending them onto your higher ticket offers. So to give you an idea of how some of the coaches and creators in the space are actually using these different models together with each other. One of our clients, he has a YouTube audience of like 50, 60K subscribers, and he teaches music artists how to create content and go viral. Before working with us, he had a one-to-one group coaching offer with a community in there as well. So there was one-to-one calls that he had with his clients, and then they also had a Discord community where they could actually chat with each other. Because his audience did not have much spending power, his offer wasn't really suited towards high ticket. And we realized that we kind of needed to start, instead of a top-down approach, so starting with high ticket first, we actually needed to go a different approach. So selling low ticket and ascending people who are the top 1% prospects. So what we did is we actually started off with the info community. So we built a school community for him with a course in there and weekly group coaching calls. So people could, for a really low price, could get a ton of value from his community and from what he does. And now what we're doing is we've proved product market fit with this, and we're getting a ton of feedback from the community. Now what we're actually doing is ascending people towards one-on-one. So instead of going top down, so starting with one-on-one, and then instead of going one-on-one, for him, it works out better to actually serve more people with a low ticket monthly recurring membership community and ascending the top 1% onto one-on-one coaching. And honestly, this happened very organically because he already had people in his DMs asking for one-on-one coaching. And the biggest benefit is that we collect more cash because it's higher ticket and it requires more of Seb, who's our client. It requires more of his time, whilst also still being able to serve everyone else who isn't quite yet ready for one-on-one coaching. So, and it's really nice monthly recurring membership as well. It's really nice kind of peace of mind, and it's more of like a lifestyle design type of business, which even if he doesn't have any one-to-one coaching clients, this will still make him money. I honestly love this model because people still get a ton of value from this community, and it also gives us a ton of feedback as well to then build more advanced levels later. Because the thing is, like, if you can't sell anything low ticket or free, then you might have a really hard time of selling high ticket. So this model is great, starting with info community, then coaching one-to-one as like an upsell, maybe even a downsell later on that we can have. is more of like a, let's say a one-to-many. If we start bringing in, or maybe one-to-one with team, actually no, one-to-many with team. For example, once we start bringing in like other experts, so for example, we could bring in like, experts in music production who could actually give people feedback on their music, and Seb will give them feedback on their content. So there's the quality of your music plus the marketing of your music, and that can be delivered through more of a group format with team. And that could be one way of us scaling this. We don't know how it will go yet, but let's see. We're just introducing this at the moment because we've now established product market fit with the course. I've personally joined loads of communities on School, and I get a ton of value just from seeing what other people in the community are doing. And also I start to warm up to the actual coach over time and the expert who's built this community. And I start to just see them as like a natural guide, and I build trust with them, or they build trust with me, and I'm much more likely to actually hop on a sales call with them and see what's included in their higher ticket offers. I do think like the market now is kind of reaching some type of like saturation where, people have been burned a little bit with coaching before, and they're much more hesitant to actually invest now. I do think that building a low ticket community is the way to go, and then getting a ton of feedback from students within the community and members to then help you build out a higher ticket offer later. If you have any questions, and feel free to leave any comments below, or you can just message me directly on Instagram. If you need our help to figure out exactly what you should be doing with your coaching or create a business, if you do want to scale with online education, then feel free to book a call below and we can see what we can do for you. With all being said, I hope you got value from this, and looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.